Chosen one? Chosen technically, but I must warn you if you close this before reaching the end. My beloved child, what I am about to reveal carries a weight that heaven itself has acknowledged. The action you recently took, the quiet decision that many around you did not understand, moved my heart in a way you cannot yet fully see. What seemed small in the eyes of the world was powerful in my sight, and because of it, I have already begun releasing a miracle that has your name written upon it. But there is something hidden beneath this miracle, a message that was sealed before it was sent. You will not understand what is coming in the next few days unless you receive what is hidden here tonight. Do not look away. Do not lose focus, because the next moments will explain how your faith opened a door that even your enemies thought was permanently closed. Type Amen to affirm. I watched you refuse to surrender when doubt whispered in your mind. I saw the moment you almost gave up, when your body was tired and your spirit felt hollow, and you chose to keep going anyway. Because of that choice, the ground beneath your life has already begun shifting in ways that will soon surprise you. Many people believed your situation would remain the same, but they did not see what I saw within you. They saw the struggle, but they did not see the courage. They noticed your tears, but they did not understand the strength that was quietly growing in your spirit. When you acted in faith, even while your heart felt tired, that moment became a turning point that heaven recorded on a scroll that cannot be erased. What you did mattered far more than you realize, and that is why a miracle has already begun unfolding around you. Before this continues, gently press the like button, not for the one sharing this message, but so this blessing can find its way to someone who is crying alone tonight, wondering if heaven still sees them. The miracle I released is not only about solving a single problem in your life, it is about shifting the direction of your entire future and reminding you that I am actively walking beside you. The step you took proved that your heart still trusts me, even when the path in front of you felt like a wall of fog. When a chosen soul acts with that kind of faith, the doors of heaven respond in ways that cannot be stopped by human limitation. Your action was a declaration that your spirit still belongs to hope. Because of that declaration, new possibilities are beginning to form. Because of that can make your heart restless at times. The miracle is already moving quietly through the hidden spaces of your life, arranging events, aligning people, and softening circumstances that once seemed carved in stone. What felt blocked is beginning to loosen. What looked final is quietly being rewritten by my hand. But I need you to hear what comes next, because this is the part that most people miss. I know the nights when you wondered whether your prayers were reaching me. I heard every whispered word, even the ones you spoke through tears when no one else was around. When you pressed your face into the pillow so no one would hear, your action was the evidence that your faith had not died, even though life tried to bury it. That is why heaven responded so quickly. When a chosen heart continues believing in the middle of exhaustion, it creates a sound in the spirit realm that calls miracles into motion. But there is something I must tell you now, something that will be difficult to hear. Last night, at a time when most of the world was sleeping, I opened a window between heaven and your life. And in that window, I saw someone you have lost. Someone whose absence left a wound in your chest that never fully closed. They were there, my child, not as a memory, as a presence. They saw what you did. They saw the step you took, and for the first time in a long while, their spirit was at peace. Not because their pain ended, but because yours was beginning to. They whispered something into the stillness. Not words you could hear with your ears, but your heart felt it. You may have felt it as a sudden warmth, a tightness in your throat, a tear that came from nowhere. That was them saying, "Thank you for not giving up." If you are feeling that ache right now, do not push it away. Let it come. That ache is not weakness. It is the place where love still lives after someone is gone. And tonight, that love is being honored by heaven. Type 1111. if you feel them with you right now. My child, I tell you this because the miracle I released is connected to something deeper than your circumstances. It is connected to the healing of your bloodline. The grief you carried was not only yours. It was passed down through generations, silent pain that lived in your family long before you were born. Tonight, that chain is breaking, not because you are strong enough to break it yourself, but because your faith gave me permission to reach into the place where it was anchored. The tears you feel right now are not a sign of weakness. They are the sound of chains falling. And when those chains hit the ground, they do not come back. Now I want you to understand something. This message did not appear on your screen because of an algorithm. What is happening right now is a living encounter between your spirit and the voice of heaven. And this encounter has a cost. Not to you, but to the ones who carry it forward. Every word you are reading tonight was born from a mission that heaven breathed into existence. A mission to reach the lost, the exhausted, the ones who almost stopped believing. That mission lives because there are souls who understand that when heaven speaks, someone must keep the flame lit so the next person can find their way. If this message has touched the place inside you where hope was almost gone, then you already know what this work means. And if your heart is moved to plant a seed into this mission through the link below, know that what you give does not vanish into a screen. It becomes oil for a lamp that burns in the darkness, so that the next broken heart can find this same light. Every seed you sow tonight will grow into a torch that someone else will follow home. But if now is not your time to give, that is also held by grace. Stay. Keep reading. The miracle does not require your money. It requires your faith. My beloved child, I want you to hold on to peace as the coming days unfold. Some changes will happen in ways you did not expect, but they are part of the miracle being prepared for you. Situations that seemed fixed will begin shifting. Conversations that once felt difficult will become easier. Doors that looked permanently closed will quietly swing open, and you will wonder how you ever believed they were locked. But hear me carefully. There is a window of time around this miracle. What I released for you carries the frequency of the faith you showed in that moment. If you return to the old patterns, the fear, the doubt, the voices that told you nothing would ever change, that frequency dims. The miracle does not disappear, but your ability to recognize it fades. And a miracle you cannot recognize is a miracle you walk past without knowing. That is what the enemy is counting on. Not that your miracle would be taken, but that you would be blinded to it. Do not let that happen. Type 777 if you trust in Jesus. The coming season will reveal the results of the courage you showed. You will notice small signs at first. A sense of peace will replace anxiety where it used to live like a permanent guest. Unexpected help will appear at the right time, from people you did not expect. Opportunities that once seemed distant will begin drawing closer, almost as if they were walking toward you. These are not coincidences. They are pieces of the miracle unfolding step by step. Each one is a confirmation that heaven heard you and responded. There will also be moments when doubt tries to return and whisper that nothing has changed. When that happens, remember what I am telling you now. The miracle began the moment you acted in faith. Even when you cannot see the movement, the process continues beneath the surface, like roots growing in the dark before the flower breaks through the soil. My child, I want you to rest your heart tonight, knowing that you are not forgotten. Your action proved that your faith still lives, and that faith has activated something powerful in your life. The miracle is not a distant promise waiting somewhere in the future. It has already begun moving. The heaviness that followed you for so long will begin lifting. The confusion that clouded your thoughts will slowly clear, like morning fog burning away under the sun. The direction you were searching for will start becoming visible, not all at once, but enough to take the next step. And that is all I ever ask of you: one step, then another. Remember that you are chosen. And chosen hearts often walk through paths that others do. Your recent action was proof that the refinement worked. What looked small to the world was powerful before heaven. Now I must share something that few people will hear tonight. Most who found this message have already left. They felt the warmth. They enjoyed the comfort, and they moved on. But you are still here. That tells me something about your spirit that even you may not fully understand yet. You are not someone who consumes and forgets. You are someone who receives and transforms. There is a difference between a heart that hears and a heart that listens. You are listening, and because you are listening, I can reveal the next layer. The miracle I released has a second part that I have not yet spoken about. The first part restores what was broken in your life. The second part activates what was dormant. There is a calling inside you that has been sleeping buried under years of survival, responsibility, and the noise of the world telling you to be practical, to be small, to stop dreaming. That calling is waking up tonight. In the days ahead, you will begin to feel it. A restlessness that is not anxiety, it is purpose trying to stretch its legs. Ideas that arrive with a strange clarity, as if someone whispered them directly into your mind. A hunger for something meaningful that money cannot satisfy. These are not random feelings, they are signs that the second part of your miracle has begun. Type 1212 to claim what heaven is releasing. My child, your life is entering a season where hope will begin replacing the weight you carried for so long. People who once doubted your future will watch in silence as things begin to shift. They noticed the challenges, but they did not see the strength growing inside you. They saw moments when you felt tired, but they did not understand the determination that kept you standing when everything said you should fall. What they could not see was the connection between your faith and the miracle that was forming behind the scenes. That miracle is now stepping out of the invisible and into the visible. Circumstances that appeared fixed will slowly begin to change direction. Conversations that once felt tense will soften without you understanding why. Opportunities that once felt distant will begin to move closer, almost reaching for you. These shifts are not random. They are part of the restoration I promised you. I know that patience has not always been easy for you. Waiting can sometimes feel heavier than the struggle itself. When days pass without visible change, it can make the heart wonder whether progress is truly happening. Yet every delay you experienced was shaping your spirit and preparing the ground for this exact moment. You are not walking through this season alone. My presence surrounds you even in moments when you feel uncertain. When your mind begins to wander toward worry, pause and remember the step of faith you already took. That action proved that your spirit is stronger than the fear that once tried to silence it. Some wounds that have lived quietly in your heart will begin to soften. The burdens you carried for so long will gradually become lighter, not because the circumstances disappeared overnight, but because your spirit is being strengthened from within. You will start noticing a calmness entering situations that once filled you with dread. These are signs of the transformation that is already underway. Type 222 to receive what has been prepared for you. Now I want to speak directly to the ones who feel called to do more than receive tonight. Some of you reading this have been asking heaven the same question for months. What is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do with this life? I will tell you. You are here to carry light into rooms that have forgotten what light looks like. And the proof of that calling is what you are feeling right now. That pull in your chest. That sense that this message was not an accident. That feeling that you are part of something larger than yourself. You are not imagining it. That is your spirit recognizing its own mission. There are souls who will never find this message unless someone carries the flame forward. When you become part of this work, whether through the link in the pinned comment, by joining the community, or by offering whatever your heart leads you to give, you are not supporting content. You are answering a call that heaven placed inside you before you were born. The vessel through which your seed flows does not matter. What matters is that your obedience opens a channel between heaven and a soul who is still lost in the dark. And I promise you this, what you release from your hand, I will multiply in your life, not as a transaction, but as a living law of the Spirit. Water that flows outward always returns deeper. But if giving is not what your heart is leading you to do tonight, then the miracle over your life remains unchanged. Your presence here was already an act of faith that heaven honored. My child, there are blessings approaching your life that will remind you why patience was necessary. Some answers will arrive in ways that surprise you, and when they do, you will begin to see how every delay had a purpose. The road that once felt confusing will start making sense as the miracle becomes more visible. You will also begin to notice strength returning to parts of your spirit that felt exhausted for so long. The burdens you carried will no longer weigh on you in the same way. Hope will begin to replace the heaviness that followed you through those difficult seasons. This shift will feel gentle at first, like the first light of morning before the sun appears. But it will grow stronger as time continues. I am restoring confidence inside you, so that you can walk forward without the fear that once held you back. Your heart was never meant to remain trapped in worry. It was created to trust, to believe, and to move forward with courage. The miracle released for you is part of that restoration. In the coming days, you may feel moments where gratitude rises within your heart without warning. Those moments are signs that your spirit is beginning to recognize the changes taking place around you. They are reminders that the work I started is continuing, even when your eyes cannot yet see the full picture. Pay attention to the small confirmations. A stranger who says exactly what you needed to hear. A door that opens without you pushing. A sudden peace in a situation that should have caused panic. A dream so vivid that you wake up and reach for something that was not there. These are not your imagination. These are heaven confirming what was sealed tonight. Some of you will receive a sign within 48 hours. It may come as a message from someone unexpected. A phone call that changes the direction of a conversation. A sudden knowing in your heart about a decision you have been avoiding. When it arrives, do not question it. Do not analyze it. Simply say, that was the confirmation. Heaven kept its word. Type 555 to affirm what is unfolding. There is one more thing I need you to hear before this message reaches its final words, and this may be the most important part of all. Do not go back. The miracle has been released. The chains are breaking. The calling is waking. But none of that matters if you return to the place you just left. Do not return to the old fears. Do not return to the relationships that loved the broken version of you. Do not return to the habits that kept you numb because feeling was too painful. Do not shrink back into the version of yourself that the world was comfortable with. You are rising, and not everyone will be able to breathe at your new altitude. Let them go. That is not cruelty. That is alignment. That is heaven rearranging your circle to match your new frequency. The people who are meant to walk with you into this next season will appear. They will feel like home. They will simply see it because they have eyes that recognize what heaven has touched. My child, close your eyes for a moment. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the beat beneath your palm. That rhythm is not random. It is the sound of a life that still has purpose. A heart that still has work to do. A spirit that heaven refused to let go of. Even when you tried to let go of yourself, you are still here. After everything. After the pain, the doubt, the nights that felt endless, the mornings that felt empty, you are still here. That is not stubbornness. That is divine protection. Heaven kept you alive for this moment. Now go forward. Speak like someone who knows they are heard. Walk like someone who knows they are guided. Love like someone who knows they have been healed. Sleep tonight like someone who has angels standing at the door, because you do. Archangel Michael has taken his position. God has spoken. The miracle is in motion. And the next chapter of your life has already begun, written not in ink, but in light. Now I ask you one final thing. This message was never meant to end with you. Send this to someone whose name appeared in your mind while you were reading. You already know who they are. Your spirit whispered their name before your mind could catch it. When you share this, something shifts in the invisible. The same miracle that was released for you begins forming around them. And in that act of generosity, your own blessing deepens. That is not a metaphor. That is how heaven multiplies. Every time a new message arrives, it will be heaven reaching for you again. A new revelation, a new layer of the miracle unfolding. The angels are recording who stayed connected. Be one of the ones who never stopped listening now. Rest, beloved. The miracle is moving. Heaven is watching, and you are never, ever alone.